And okay, so hi everybody, my name is Tjololo. I'm going to be showing you today how to export and import your HIT database, as well as how to fix any potential issues that may have arisen. I've done this a couple times before, so I sort of know what I'm doing, but if I have any issues, I apologize. So I'm going to go ahead and update here while I tell you what we need to do. First thing we need to do is we need to export the HIT database. And then we're going to go through, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fix any $0, 0-cent hits, because they'll never update from approved pending payment. You don't really need to do that, but it bothers me, so I'm going to do it, and I'm going to show you how. And then we also need to change it so that our date format is correct, and then we need to change our CSV separator, and then we need to fix any potential issues that may arise. So that all sounds a little complicated, but I'll try to break it down as simply as possible. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to we're going to update, which I just did. So now we need to export. So first thing you do is you click on this little drop down here and change it to all, and then click export CSV and click search. And what that's going to do is it's not going to limit the quote-unquote search by any status. And I apologize if you can hear the cat. It is absolutely freaking out, and I don't know why. So you can see I've done this a few times. But then I'm just going to move it to the desktop so that we can see it a little easier. So now I have the HIT database, so now I don't need to deal with this anymore. I can just minimize that. So the next thing you need to do is open the HIT database in Excel. Most of the time you'll just be able to double click it and open. As you can see, mine doesn't work like that because I've done a little bit of the prep work for it, so I have to do it a different way, which I'll show you. So we'll go ahead and we'll start by opening Excel, and it just opens in a blank workbook. And you want to go to the Data tab here and click under Get External Data on the left. You click From Text, and that's going to import any data from a text document. So go ahead and navigate to where you save the HIT database. Mine's on the desktop, so I click Desktop, and then I click on the HIT database and click Import. Now there's a couple things you need to change in here. First of all, make sure it's on delimited and not fixed width. You want to make sure that it's separated by comma. So leave both of these the same and click Next, and then select your comma here on the left and unselect tab. That way you're saying, yes, there are multiple columns, and each column is separated by a comma symbol. You're going to run into issues with that, but we'll deal with those issues in an upcoming step. So go ahead and click Finish, and then click OK to import it right into A1, which is the first cell, and you'll see it imports just fine. So now the next thing we need to do is we need to fix any $0 hits. So the easiest way to do that, rather than scrolling through here and trying to find one that's 0 in this column, the easiest way to do it is to convert this entire sheet, all of this HIT database info, into something called a table, which is a lot easier to manipulate in Excel. So go ahead and click anywhere in here, and you want to go to Insert and then click on Table on the left hand side. It'll ask you where's your data, and it'll try to guess as to where your data is. Mine it says is A1 to I18238. So I know that's incorrect because I have nothing in the I column. And I can scroll down, I can verify that however I want, but I know I have nothing in the I column. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to H, which is my last column. An alternative way you can do it, you click OK and then click Yes, and then it converts it to a table. An alternative way you can do it is after you've created the table, it will have I, I'm sorry about this, it'll have I like this. Okay, never mind. It'll have I as column 1, and what you can do is you can click on the I here and then right click and click delete, and that'll clear it out. You don't want to do that if there's any data in the I column, because you'll end up removing it, and you might run into that issue. So before you delete it, what you should do, and I really wish that I could insert. I guess I can just show you here. Imagine that this is column I. You would click on this little drop down and make sure that all that's in there is blanks. If you see anything other than blanks, do not delete it. Just let it be however it is. But since I only have blanks in this column, I can go ahead and delete it, and that'll solve that issue. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to clear out those $0 and 0 cents hits. So what we do is we click on the reward here, and you see everything is selected. Every hit value that I've ever gotten, including blanks and everything, is all in there. So I want to select nothing, so I click on the select all, and then click the 0 to only select the hits that are 0 reward. And then click OK. Now you can see here, because I've done this several times and I forgot to change it, all of mine show paid. Yours may show approved pending payment. Yours may show pending. If they show rejected, then that requester is an asshole. But basically you want them all to say paid. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on this approved pending payment on the 25th of November from Hatchie, and I'm going to type paid and then hit enter. So now that's changed it, and when I re-import into the hit database, it will reflect as paid. So what you do now, we have all of our, So we have all of our $0 hits done. So now go ahead and select everything again and hit OK. Now you need to, and I'm going to set something up here while I'm talking, but the next thing we need to fix is any potential issues that may have arisen. And this is why you may have column I, or more columns potentially. You could have really any number of columns. Did that again. I did this last time too. I had so many issues. But yes, so what we need to do is we need to fix it so that when we import it, it imports properly. And now, if you can see what I'm doing here, this description is 5-minute survey period, a few questions about rotating topics, E period, G period, current events, comma, current entertainment. So this comma is where the issue lies. Because when we imported, if you remember, we said it was delimited by comma. So when it's going through these cells, it may think that that is a separate cell. So it'll do something like this, where you've got your, scroll over here, your hit ID is this crazy jumble. That's May 30th, 2013, Duke Center for Behavioral Economics. All of this is the same description, but then when we get into reward, our reward is now current entertainment. That's not a number, obviously, so that's going to mess up your totals. That's going to mess up how this whole thing works. And then obviously your status and your feedback are incorrect as well. So the way to find that, the easiest way to find that, is to click on, you can either click on your reward here and scroll through, but there's going to be a lot of things. An easier way is status. Click on this little triangle on your status, and you'll be able to see things here. Now, for the status, it can only ever be pending, rejected, approved pending payment, or paid. Pending approval, not just pending, but it can only be one of those 4 things, or blanks. And the blanks we're going to get rid of anyway at the end. But you can see here, I've got a 35, so you know for a fact that 35 is wrong, and you may have more values or you may not have any. It all depends on how things were going, how it's how it's exported and imported and everything like that. So you may run into issues there. So what you need to do is you need to fix those. Otherwise, when it imports, those hits are not only not going to be recorded correctly, but they're going to mess up our totals for daily and all that. So the easiest way to do that is the same way we did with the 0 hits. Click on select all, so we don't want to see anything. Then click on the 0.35 and click OK. Now that changes it so that everything is hidden except for the lines that you're interested in, lines that you're interested in. So now we can easily see what the problem is. E.g. current events, current entertainment, close parentheses. So what we do is we copy this, copy what's in the reward column, and then move it into the title column with a comma, because it was separated by a comma. And then you can click on the reward, the 0.35 in the status column, and drag over to the paid in the feedback column. Then click on any of the black bars around it until you see the mouse cursor change. I'm not sure if you can see that. But once the mouse cursor changes, you click and drag over to the left one. It'll come up, do you want to replace the contents? Say OK. Bam, we're done. So now if you look in your status column again, that 35 cents is gone, and now it's just the regular 4 and the blanks. So that's fine. That's exactly what you want. So go ahead and select everything again and click OK. And so now, once you've finished everything that you have to do, and I actually wanted to take a look here and figure out what my blanks were. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And I do have several blanks here, and now you can see there's a couple issues. So these are things that I need to fix. You've got survey for non-masters, blah blah blah. So here's my comma. So what I want to do is I want to hit tab, which will move me over one, and I can see the reward is 250, so 2.50, and then paid. Enter. This one was $1. I'm pointing at the screen instead of using my mouse, but this one was $1. You can see after everything after the comma is a new cell. So go ahead and add 100, paid, and then this one was $1, 1.00, paid, and go ahead and do that for all of these. Oops. Okay. So now that should be fixed, all those. Now we need to go through here and we need to delete the extra information. So basically everything after these quotes. And I'm not sure why this happened. It shouldn't have, but I'm actually kind of glad it did because it gave me a chance to show you what exactly I was talking about. And if you scroll over, okay, so everything else is good. So now our blanks are gone. Excellent. So now I know I've fixed that. Let me look back through here and make sure there's nothing else that's weird. So that's fine. This one's fine. This one, no, I'm not really going to scroll through all that. But everything looks okay now. So now the next thing you need to do is we need to change the date. Because if you look here, the dates are month, day, year. And it's month/day/year. And it's actually month/day/year. And the HIT database requires 4-digit year dash 2-digit month dash 2-digit day. So luckily Excel, it's easy to fix that. So just click on this B column so that the whole column's highlighted, and then right click on any of the cells inside of it and click Format Cells. Now for whatever reason, if you click on the date on the left, that format is not in here. There's 2-digit and then month and 2-digit year and then month and day, but we don't want that. And there's day, month, 4-digit year, but we don't want that either. So what you do is you click on Custom, and then up where it says Type : you see month/day/YYYY. Go ahead and change that and select it and type YYYY-MM-DD. So that's year, and then 2-digit month, 2-digit day. I don't know if you need the MM and DD, but it works that way, so go for it. And then click OK, and you see all of these dates have changed all the way down, which is nice because that's exactly what we want. Now, you can go ahead and save, but what we need to do now is we need to change the way this HIT database saves, because if you remember, the commas mess everything up, and we don't want that. We want to take the commas out of the picture. So in order to do that, we need to tell Excel, hey, you need to save this with a different delimiter, and unfortunately there's no easy way to do that. So I'll go ahead and I'll show you the process for that now. Go ahead and open your Start menu and then click on Control Panel, and that opens up your control panel. I have it viewed by small icons. You may see it by category. I have no idea how the category works, and I hate it very much, but actually it's apparently right there. But go ahead and change to either large icons or small icons, and search for your region and language, which for me it's right there. If your window is a different shape, it may be somewhere else, but region and language is what you're looking for, and go ahead and click on that to open it. And now you don't want to make too many changes here, because this is really getting into how your system handles data and how it handles date formats and everything. So go ahead and just follow along with what I do and you'll be safe. Click on Additional Settings down here, and then you look through, and here is how your computer really decides how to do everything. Number of digits after your decimal, your digit grouping symbol, how your digits are grouped. You can change all of these. It's really powerful. But the thing you're interested in is list separator here. And you can see yours will probably be a comma. But what you need your list separator to be, is something that does not show up anywhere else in your hit database. Because if it's anywhere else there, then that will be translated into a new column. So I've already done this search, and I'll show you how to do it as well. You click on, go back to Excel, and then do Control F and search for, I did the backtick, so search for backtick. It's next to the 1 underneath of escape on a standard US keyboard, and then click Find All. You'll see, oh, it can't find it. Excellent. That means it's a good character. If you try to choose something else, like say a comma, and click Find All, you see there's 580 cells that contain a comma. That's 580 cells that may be messed up if you try to save using comma delimited. So we want to change that. So let me close out of here and go back to the regional language settings. So our list separator, let's go ahead and change it to the backtick. Oops, to the backtick, because we know that there's none of those in this entire document. So click OK. And then you can leave this up if you want to change it back, and I completely understand that. I'm going to leave mine the same, so I'm going to go ahead and close it. But if you do leave it up, click Apply, and that will set your settings throughout your system. I'm going to go ahead and change it, like I said, but you can feel free to leave it up and then just do that again. Click on Additional Settings and change it to a comma if you prefer it that way. Now, we need to save this again. So let's go ahead and click this little... This is Excel 2007, and I don't know why you don't have menus anymore, but click on the little upper bauble, and then click Save As. Now when this comes up, it's going to try to save it as an Excel workbook. You can do that, but you need it to be a CSV document. So I'm going to save mine on the desktop so it's easy to find, and then click on this Save As type, and just hit the letter C, and it goes right to CSV, delimited. Now if you look, there's actually 3 different kinds of CSVs. There's CSV, delimited, CSV Macintosh, and CSV MS-DOS. You just want the first one, CSV, delimited, just like that. And now you want to name it something useful. So this guide is really designed for the monthly maintenance of the HIT database. So I'm going to go ahead and name mine HitDB Nov 28. So now I know this was done, let me change this a little bit, HitDB 2014-11-28. So now I know exactly when this was done. So next month I'll go through and I'll see, oh okay, so I did it the November 28th, so now I want to do December 28th. So that way you can keep track of how many months you've done it. You don't really want to go longer than 45 days, because after 45 days hits start falling off, and if you don't have a backup for that time and your hit database gets corrupted, then you've lost those hits. So go ahead and save it, and it's going to say, oh, it doesn't like that it has multiple sheets. What is, oh my god, I apologize.
Nice to meet you where you been. I could show you
Okay, so that ends that. I apologize, I should have had that turned off, didn't even think about it. But anyway, so the selected file type does not support workbooks that contain multiple sheets. That's fine, because we're only using the active sheet, and it says to save on the active sheet, click OK. So, and then it says, oh, we don't like CSV. I don't know why Excel doesn't like CSV. Just ignore this and click yes. It's annoying, and it's actually because we have a table and some advanced stuff in there, but it doesn't matter. So now this has been saved, and you can see up here it went from book1.xlsx to hitdb 2014-11-28.csv. So that's good. That's what we want. So we can go ahead and close this because we're done with Excel, and say no because we just saved it. Now, the next step requires a little bit of extra software. I'm going to move this over here so you can see it. So this is the old one, and this is the one we just edited. But the extra software you'll need is going to be Notepad++, and I'll show you Notepad++. If you just do a Google search for it, notepad++.org, really easy. It's for Windows. I don't believe it's for Linux or Mac, but for them you can use gedit. But since I'm on Windows, I use Notepad++. And I'm just going to right click on my hit database here and click edit with Notepad++. And so now it opens up properly. And you can see, I'm going to open this one as well. You can see this is the old hit database that I downloaded from my dashboard. And you can see it's separated by commas. Each column has a comma after it. The one that we just saved is separated by backticks, which is perfect because that's what we want to separate these. Now, what we need to do is, and I'm going to do a little prep or search for food essentials. Some of the requesters who you do work for are going to do something really stupid, and they're going to put return characters in your hit database. And it's really frustrating, and I hate it very much, but it doesn't negate the fact that it happens. And for me, it was all these food essentials, like these guys right here. Nutrient panel data entry, 10 cents, that's all fine. But it had returns like this. I think it was just like this. So for every one of these. And that's not good because when your hit database is reading this input file, it goes line by line and it says each line is a hit, as long as it has a certain number of columns and matches this certain format. But if you have something like this is obviously not a hit. It only has one column. You don't see any backticks here. And this one only has one column. You don't see any backticks there. This, the one above it, who these both belong to, that is going to be counted as a hit, but it's not going to have any of the information. So if you go to look at it in your hit database, it's not going to have any of this stuff in it, which is kind of frustrating. So what we need to do is we need to fix that. Now, the way you fix it is with something called regular expressions, which is just a way for a computer to look at text. And if you look, the difference between these two lines and every other line is that these two don't start with a hit database, or hit ID, which is this first column. Even more than that, these hit IDs, they look like they all start with a 2. And if you scroll down, you see they all start with a 2, and then they all start with a 3. And if you scroll down, all of them are 3, either 3 or 2, except for those 2 lines. And here's a couple, like, that's some people who may have been turking longer than I have and have bigger hit databases than I do may have 1s, and I believe at some point they'll go up to 4. But regardless, every line is going to start with either a 2 or a 3. So let's go ahead and search for lines that don't. So we're going to use a regular expression to do that. And you can go online, you can look up regular expressions. I highly recommend it. They're very powerful and very useful for a lot of things if you want to get into scripting. If you don't, then just follow along and ignore how to do it and everything like that. Just put it in there blind. But what you need to type is caret, which is above the 6, and then open square bracket, caret again, 2, 3, close square bracket, period, plus symbol, $sign. That makes no sense, I realize that, but that's not actually what you're looking for. What this says is look for the start of a line, which is this first caret, and then any character, which is what's contained in these brackets, which is not, which is what this caret means, 2 or 3, and then anything else until the end of the line. So look for nothing before any character that is not a 2 or 3, and then anything else until the end of the line. I know that sounds confusing, but it really does, it works. So you click find next, bam, right there, took us right to our lines. And the way to fix this is, since before your hit database was separated by a comma, pretty much the best way to do this is to go to the beginning of any line that it finds and click backspace and then type a comma. Or you can just leave the comma off and do backspace, and if it's together, if it's together like that, you can hit tab or you can hit space or whatever to separate it, as long as it's on the same line. And then go ahead and click find next again, and it finds our next line. So go to the start of that line, hit backspace, and then hit find next again, and it found this top row, row number 1. that's fine. Row number 1 is always going to show up and it always needs to be there. You can't get rid of it or else it won't work. So the more I click find next, the more I only see that one row, which is fine. That means that we've fixed everything. So you can go ahead and save this, and you don't need to worry about your regional settings. This will save exactly like it looks. So now we've got our hit database set up. And what you do now, let's just take a look here. If you scroll all the way down, you can see I've got 18,238 lines. Okay, and then if I open up my my dashboard in another screen, I've got 18,237 hits submitted. So 18,238 minus the 1 for this header here is 18,237. So that's perfect. I have the exact number of hits that I want. And I have a complete hit database, and it's all been edited, and it's all proper, and it's all good. So now let's make sure that there are no errors. So go ahead and click inside of your hit database here and hit Control A, Control C, and that will copy everything in that screen, including that blank line at the end, which you can delete this blank line if you want. It doesn't really matter, and then save again, but you do Control A and Control C to copy everything. Now go back to your to your dashboard and click Import, and then click in this little box and hit Control V. And it's going to take a second because that's a huge amount of data to get off your clipboard, but eventually it'll go in there. Now you need to apparently this is spelled wrong, but you need to change your CSV separator from a comma to a backtick, because remember, we're not splitting by comma, we're splitting by backtick. Now you do this before you delete your database and everything. We're going to make sure that everything is good. And the good thing is we have a chance to go back before we actually import. So go ahead and click on Import Hits, and it'll pop up a little window. Don't click anything, don't hit any buttons or anything like that, but you see found 18237 hits. That's perfect. That's my number of submitted hits. So instead of clicking OK or hitting enter or anything like that, click cancel, because we need to delete the hit database first. Now that we know that the number of hits that are in that file are exactly the same as the number of hits that are in my hits submitted, I don't have to worry about deleting my hit database. If you have errors, anything more than 1 or 2 errors is something to be concerned about. One error is probably that empty space that we deleted over here. Remember, there was that empty space at the end. One error is probably that. 2 errors is probably 2 spaces, or maybe there's a blank line somewhere up there. Nothing really to be too concerned about. Anything more than that is really a worry, and that's when you want to go back through here and you want to use that caret open bracket, this syntax, to search for anything that could be wrong. And you can also add things like a 1 or a 4 in case you may have hits that start with those. Anything. Feel free to fiddle with that. You're not going to break anything, and you can always hit Control Z to undo it. But the most important thing is to make sure that you have your hits submitted, or if you don't have a full hit database, at least a large number. If you have, and there have been times like with those food essentials when I had it was something like 9,000 hits submitted, and then when I went to import my hit database, it was like 7,000 with 2,000 errors or something. And that was because each of those food essentials took up 3 or 4 lines. So each of those was 4 errors in itself. So you'll know if something's amiss. If it's a small number, it's nothing to worry about. But I digress. So now that we know that everything's good and we've got our hit database and we've got it all formatted and all fixed and everything's ready, now we're going to do the scary thing, and we're going to delete the database. Good thing is I would tell you to make a backup, but we just made a backup, so we don't really need to worry about it. So go ahead and delete your hit database and then click OK. And it'll take a couple seconds, and then it'll pop up and say deleted. So now there's nothing in your HitDB. So now you want to refresh just to make sure that there's no lingering data, there's nothing on this page, and you can see my projected earnings is gone. My hit database, apparently it's not gone because it shows that I've had hits for today, but there's nothing in there. And it still shows that it was updated today, but it actually wasn't. Your hit database is empty. So what you need to do is now we need to do the import. So go ahead and go back to your Notepad++ window and select everything, Control A, Control C to copy it all. Then go click import here and Control V into that text, the text area. And again, it takes a couple seconds for it to go. And so now it's all filled in. Don't forget to change your CSV separator. If you do forget to change it, then when you click import hits, it'll say no hits found. So that's a good way to know. It's not going to break. You don't have to worry about, freak out about it, but make sure to change it to that, and don't change it to a character that does exist, because that could break it. Like if we change it to tilde, I don't know. Oh, it's probably going to say no. Yeah, it's going to say no hits found. So go ahead and change it to the backtick here, and then click import hits. Make sure 18237, that's what I had, and I can't actually look at it because this is an alert box, but oh, I guess I can cancel. And then cancel. So 18237. So yes, that is what I had. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in here again. CSV separator is a backtick. It's 18237. Okay, so now we click OK. And you see down here, I'm still pointing at the screen, but you see down here it's loading our hits. This should go fairly quickly. And once it's done, now it's done. So now you refresh. And you should see, because you did update it, you should see, alright, my pending projected for today came back, my pending came back, everything's back, everything's good. Go ahead and update your database again. And you may have more. I only have 5 pages because I don't have very many pending. If you have a lot more pending, you'll have more pages, or you may get the big 60 hit update, or 60 page update for your first one. I'm not sure. That probably won't happen, but if it does, just know to be prepared for it. It may take a little while. So once this is done, we're going to go ahead and verify that everything's working properly. And that's going to be really quick. Now this hit database I am running is I call it MTurk hit database, but it is oh goodness, I have a lot of things in here. It is 1.8. This is literally the same as my version of hit database testing. If you'll give me a second, I'll pull that up. Come on now. This is more prep work that I probably should have done, but my hit database testing is here. I may have changed the version number just because it's different online. Yeah, this is 1.9, but this is the same thing. I literally have copied from here and pasted to here and changed the name so that it would update properly, but it's the same. And actually, well, I don't really want to paste it and change the version number again, but so it is the same. And what we want to do is we want to, now that it's done updating, we want to make sure everything's okay. So go ahead and click your daily overview, and we're going to pull that on another side of the screen here, so we'll split it up. So now if you look, it's submitted, approved, rejected, pending, and earnings. So we scroll all the way down. So submitted is 18237. My submitted is 18237. 18214 for approved, 18214 for approved. 6 for rejected, 6 for rejected. 17 for pending, 17 for pending. 2743.30 for earnings, 2736.36 for earnings. So, or for approved hits. So okay, that one's a little bit different, but that one's not as big of a deal, at least for me. If you have an issue, or you don't like the way that it is shown, what you can do is you can search through day by day, and typically you'll be able to find where the issue is, because just something won't add up. And then you can go back to your hit database. Let me close out of these. You can go back to your hit database here, open with Notepad++, find the hit that was messed up and fix it, and then re-import. Delete your database, re-import. It's fine. So updating your hit database it's something you should definitely be wary of, but it's not something you should be terrified of. Yes, it is possible to delete it. Yes, it is possible to destroy it. Yes, it is possible to do everything that you worry that it's possible to do. But if you follow along with this video, follow instructions, or follow the instructions I've given you, and sort of use what you can find online. You can contact me. I'm on MTurk Forum, MTurk Grind. I'm on IRCs. I'm on, obviously, the Tiny Chat. I'm on pretty much anywhere you can imagine me being. And or contact me on Greasy Fork. I'm basically anywhere, and if I don't answer you within a week, then assume that I died. But it's something where you probably won't run into issues. You'll probably be just fine. I just wanted to make this video, A, to show how easy it was, B, to give reference material, and that's basically it. So, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. But hopefully this will help everyone who's having issues with this, and hopefully this has been useful for you. So, again, my name is Tjololo. I want to thank you for watching the video, and if you have any feedback, please contact me either via YouTube page or any of the things I mentioned before. And yeah, so happy turking.